Good afternoon. This is Joseph Kelly. This is my week 2 assignment to Fundamentals of Public Speaking, Informative Speech at MacU. Dr. Slade is the instructor. Once again, my name is Joseph Kelly. Today I'll be talking about the drawbacks of social media in today's society. Today, social media is a big part of our lives. It's said that 3.6 billion people on Earth use some kind of social media. Each country has their own. China has a pretty big one. The United States, we have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, what have you. There's a million of them. There's probably going to be even more, come out in the future. There's even the MySpace from back in my middle school days. But social media, now that we've had years to study the effects it's had on people, anxiety and depression are actually linked to social media use. From the Royal Society of Public Health, they put together a study that it directly links depression, anxiety, and bad sleep disorders like just insomnia. Well, every screen that we look at, from a phone, TV, tablet, computer, what have you, it emits a blue light, and that blue light actually blocks our body from producing melatonin, which helps us get to sleep. So a good rule of thumb is about an hour and a half, 2 hours, shut off the screens. I'm bad about this. I like going to bed watching TV, but that blue light actually prevents us from getting as much REM sleep as we need. So limiting that, like right before bed, actually can improve your day the next day. But furthermore, that same study showed that people that used social media more actually had lower self-esteem and had feelings of inadequacy. Like scrolling Instagram, you see people with, the beautiful couple, the nice car, nice house. And there's a lot of comparison in that. When you're comparing, it makes you, feel less than. Secondly, the social media, it's really bad for cyberbullying. Cyberbullying is just any kind of harassment, humiliation, anything you would do over the web to just humiliate someone in some kind of way. According to the Cyberbullying Research Institute, about 35% of people on social media or use technology for work, school, any kind of screen with other people involved, they are directly impacted by cyberbullying. Like I said, 35%. So pretty much almost half. But the fact that you can stay anonymous in a lot of aspects on the internet, it just opens up for people to say things that they wouldn't normally say, like in person. So that leads up ending to like hateful comments, things that just aren't needed, just bad behavior. The effects of social media in the digital age is obviously going to affect us at home, but the biggest part is whenever it starts getting into our day-to-day lives. The amount we spend on our screens is actually affecting our face-to-face social skills. Excuse me. In a digital world, individuals are becoming more reliant on the virtual Zoom, especially post-COVID. Everything changed in that aspect on how we can do work, how we can do school, and it just became an even bigger part of our lives beyond just the social media part. But this led to a decline in social skills, face-to-face interactions. This leads to like social isolation and difficulty in forming, meaningful relationships with going places with people and actually doing the thing. instead of just, someone that you like their picture on Facebook or whatever, you see if they had a kid, cute. Um, but lastly, social media is an addiction. I mean, we get that dopamine release instant, um, but it decreased in productivity in some studies. From the Harvard Business Review, it said we lose about an hour and a half of productivity while clocked in, just from social media use, doing things away from work, just because we need that little dopamine release in the middle of the day to kind of relax, like whether that, even if it's on a break or anything along those lines, it kind of just brings us back and really just gets us out of ourselves, and we kind of just scroll, and you pretty much just forget about everything else. But in conclusion, social media has potential, like in the future, to just be this great thing that, if it's regulated right, that it can just grow into this big thing like Facebook's doing, the meta universe, what have you. I think that's kind of out there, but the drawbacks are just the mental health issues it can cause, the decline in the face-to-face communication that we need as a society, cyberbullying, just abuse that's just unneeded, and the addiction part of it, that it's that instant gratification. While it does have its benefits, it's important to be aware of these drawbacks and to take steps to minimize them. So if you have kids, maybe monitor their socials, just to really explain to them that people on the internet, I mean, they're going to say crazy stuff. But going along with the school and work part, schools and companies have adopted the bullying, verbal, what have you, aspects of bullying, and made it to where the virtual is just as bad as if you were doing it physically. So people can get expelled, people can get fired. I've seen it over the past couple of years. Like, it could just be something small, you can get fired. So be very careful about what you say to people while you're doing peer reviews. I mean, in every aspect. Definitely with your company, keep it respectful. But nowadays, it's just harder, because back then, like, the older generation would just be like, turn the phone off, close the screen. Now that technology is such a big part of our lives, it's hard just to close the screen, because, my school is on the screen, my work is on the screen. It's not just that social media part, but that the social media is kind of intertwined with our work, our school, everything. Just being online in general, just best thing to do is minimize it, and just stay aware of that you need to have actual relationships with people face to face, and do things in real life. There's so many benefits to social media, working away from the office, from doing school online, but it is all social media. It's different parts of, different people coming together on this virtual room, and it's just like a virtual classroom, and we just need to be aware that we still need face-to-face interactions. There is drawbacks to it, but there's optimism that we are changing the way that we do approach the bad parts of it. And thank you guys for listening, and you guys have a good night. Thanks.